welcome to the screening. Today's screening will be The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the screening. I'm your humble and eloquent host, Cooper Cobbs, and today we have two panelists, Isaiah Radetzky.
Hello.
And over there we've got Matthew Killingsworth.
Howdy.
Well, fellas, how we doing today?
Howdy.
Doing pretty
Matthew,
well.
I asked a question. I said, how are you doing? Not hello.
His answer is going to be howdy.
I said howdy.
Yes, you did.
Do you know what that means?
Hello.
Hello in Texan.
I think it means like, how are you in Texan, but nobody ever says how they are, because wouldn't it be weird if you just like walked up, you were like, howdy, and they were like, I'm good, how about you?
Yeah, that would have been so weird.
That would be pretty weird.
Almost
Yeah,
as
one
weird
time
as
this old guy did that to
representation.
me. It was pretty awkward.
Matthew's like, that's not how it works, man.
I told no.
That was awkward. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
Word of the day, awkward.
I can now walk on my cast a little bit, so that's good.
Yay.
My sisters are making fun of me, though. I'm like limping around because I don't want to put too much pressure on it, and the cast is like higher than my foot, and I'm like limping around like an old man, and they're like mocking me, especially my 13-year-old sister. So that's always fun, you know.
Loser.
How about you guys? Your sister's mocking you for anything?
Nope.
She tries.
Yeah, I'm not as good at roasting my sisters as Matthew is.
What?
I'm probably better at annoying them, but not quite as good at roasting
That's my
them.
job, right?
I mean,
That's
that's what I
anyone's
tell my
job.
sisters.
I really-
older sibling, or as a sibling
Right.
in general.
Exactly.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
Kind
so.
of is.
this is good Christian lessons we're teaching on our podcast.
That's right.
Our platform to
Also,
promote Jesus.
You guys, yeah, do you remember that time we watched that stand-up comedian Nate Bargatze at my house?
Yes.
Yes.
The
Well,
guy that
he
you
has a
thought
new-
was boring, that I thought was funny.
No,
Yeah, it
I
was
didn't think he
pretty
was
funny.
boring. I thought it was great.
You always
the reason I'm
described
saying
it
is-
as bland.
You kind of
No,
did. Yeah.
I meant like, you know,
Dry?
dry. Yes, that's what I was like.
Ah.
That's what I meant. But he has a new Netflix special, The Greatest
Ooh.
Average American, or something like that. It's pretty great. The best part is when he's talking about Chuck E. Cheese, though. It's pretty sweet.
Nice.
Yes. Anyway,
Oh.
speaking of Chuck E. Cheese, we're talking about Battle of Five Armies. That's the best transition
Okay.
I've ever done.
They get worse and
I have
worse.
officially graduated. That's a great transition.
There's
right
got to
there.
be
Yes.
some correlation here, right?
No, I'm
No.
just saying both are equally bad.
Ah.
So, Battle of Five Armies, last of the Hobbit movies.
Stupid Hobbit movies.
That's right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this battle between 5 different movies that didn't work?
Different armies.
I mean, it was very entertaining, but like, yeah, it was kind of messed up too.
Oh,
Basically,
wait,
because
hang
of
on.
everything
hang
they
on.
added
Before we
in
get
number
started, we should say
Yeah.
this is the second time we're recording this episode. We should probably say that.
Yeah, it's all
So-
your fault, Cooper.
My recording software kind of malfunctioned the first time.
And it
Um,
disappeared.
And then I was looking for the episode, and I had also the recording that was named as mine
That's a
was actually
boring story.
Yeah, I know,
Isaiah's
right?
voice, which was exactly as very boring.
Wait, what?
And yeah, so yeah, the recording that was named as mine was actually yours, and then I also had yours. So we didn't have my
Interesting.
recording, and we decided it was too essential to the podcast to use it. So
I mean, yeah.
so here we are.
Very stylish.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we said last time. That's worth saying again here. So
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
I forgot
so-
literally everything we said in that podcast.
Okay. We're 4.5 minutes in. Here's what I'm gonna say in answer to Cooper's question.
How?
This is my favorite Hobbit movie.
I agree.
That's what I'm
with
gonna
that,
say. This is my favorite one because of Smaug at the beginning. And he blows fire onto the village, and then Bard, the dude, gets a fancy arrow and does this weird little thing where he like makes his son stand there and then like launches it off of his son's shoulder perfectly into the spot. Like Peter Jackson, like we were saying, very extreme, very how do we say this? Gravity defying, out of the ordinary. That didn't make sense.
Yes.
Gravity.
No, we and Legolas and the bridge, man.
Yeah. Someone else talk.
Yeah, I agree with you that this is definitely the best out of the Hobbit movies. I mean, because it's like super entertaining.
Come on, man.
What are you talking about?
It's terrible.
Okay, it's entertaining.
Isaiah,
I've said
what is so entertaining about this movie?
I mean, dude, like half of the movies I'm fighting.
Like, this is Isaiah comes for this.
Yeah,
That's
man.
fair. That's fair.
I mean, they did kind of ruin it. Well, mainly in the second movie with like adding all the stuff to it, like they did, and then they continued in this movie, so it kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Matthew were just talking about actually a few minutes ago. For this, we recorded an episode on what makes a good book, and we were talking about the most essential part to a good book is having a good story. You can listen to that episode now if you want to hear us talk about that. But what we were saying, my problem with this movie is essentially the reason that it's actually my least favorite of the Hobbit movies is it feels the farthest away from the Hobbit. Now, that's not maybe such a bad thing if you can rectify that, but the fact is, the Hobbit was a great story. And the farther you get away from that, and you can't make up for that, well then, it's going to be worse. The Battle of Five Armies just does not have, in my opinion, a great story. Yeah, it's wildly entertaining, I guess, if you like action. But besides that, it doesn't really have much to offer. It doesn't have a good story, exactly. That's kind of my view for this movie.
They did change a lot.
I think we said in the original recording of this episode that I just completely forgot what I was going to say.
That because of the Desolation of Smaug, this movie's bad?
No. What were you saying? Oh, action adventure. Yes, we did say in the original recording of this episode that if you had seen these movies without reading the book, then you probably would have liked them. Because they're extreme fantasy action movies. And they're entertaining. And that's what a lot of people, watch these including myself, look for in movies.
Because they're more entertaining than I know, but they're more entertaining than movies. The Lord of the Rings movies are like kind of slower, more dramatized, more epic.
I see,
and I guess closer. I guess you could argue closer to the book than these movies are. But I guess it's kind of they fall flat on two fronts. Like this one, they tried to stray from the book, and it isn't bad. And last time they tried to keep, I guess, kind of too close to the book, and it didn't do them that great either. So kind of fell on two fronts. But like what you're saying. I think we talked about it last episode too, or the original recording of this was maybe it was because of the terrible moves they made in Desolation of Smaug. They made this movie terrible. So let's talk about that a little bit. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you think that's true, or do you think that is just really not true?
I think that's true or it's not just that they added in Desolation of Smaug, but like even in the first movie, like orcs, they're not supposed to be at all in the whole Hobbit series,
right?
Like, at all, and they add them in the first movie, so they continue in all of them, because, I mean, you kind of have to, since you add them.
I mean, that's one of the movies I don't really care I don't really mind. I mean, I'm fine if you have an extra orc battle or two.
Yeah, but then the orcs are, like, the main enemy in the whole third movie.
Right, it's kind of the second MacGuffin. It's kind of the second thing that's driving the plot forward, is the orcs.
Well, then, like, what was it, like an hour of the movie is them just going up to go fight the orcs, like the orc leader, and then fighting him, and that's how Thorin dies and all that stuff, but like none of that happened at all.
Yeah, how does Thorin actually die in the book?
I don't remember.
And it didn't say, it just said he was pierced by many spears or something like that. Here, I have that book in front of me, let me find out. You guys discuss it further.
Yeah,
so it says,
to answer your question...
There lay Thorin Oakenshield, wounded with many wounds. His rent armor and notched axe were cast upon the floor. So yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it was more eloquent.
Yeah, for sure. In the book.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, he didn't chuck a green dude under the ice and then get like stabs.
That was pretty
through the
spicy,
ice.
dude.
Wait,
He's
green?
like watching him. Well, it looked green under the ice. You see Azlog the Defiler, it's pale orc just going by.
Like, why would you like go up and like lay down right next to him, like where he's right there? I'm like, you're so stupid.
Wait, lay down?
It's so unrealistic. Thorn's like must watch.
Wait, what do you mean lay down right next to him?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It's disgusting.
He was watching him fall over the waterfall, and he got stabbed in the toe and fell over.
No, that's because he like walked with him. He was like watching him, and like walking with him.
That
and then he got stabbed in the foot.
Pretty sick, though. Just
yeah, that was pretty sweet. Yeah. Although I do like the extended edition better in the like for the Hobbit movies, at least for the third one, because they add like 2 more parts. Like first off, how Thorn like his whole journey up to Ravenhill, and not just that. Like some other dwarves actually tried going up with him, but they got left behind because their thing that they were on that wasn't a contraption or whatever. Basically, think of Santa's sleigh with battle rams on it and spikes shooting out. That thing was not in the movie at all, and that's how they got up to Ravenhill in the beginning. And then Thorn took one of the rams and got up there. And then the dwarves fought the elves before the whole big battle, and then the orcs came, and they all turned and fought the orcs.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I mean, I've heard that sometimes the extended edition of movies can be better. Whenever I hear like there is an extended edition, I'm honestly kind of like, oh, that means they must have cut that down to make this movie, which means it's not going to be as complete, I guess you could say. And that's not true for all movies, but that's what I think. And so with this movie too, like what you guys told me, I think in the last recording and off mic, how Alfred actually like dies in the extended edition, and then the theatrical he just like runs away, and I thought it was a big miss in the theatrical, because I thought Alfred was actually a really interesting character addition. I didn't mind that of all the add-ins, and then he just like runs away. I'm like, come on, guys, like that's not a good character for Alfred, but maybe getting on a catapult and getting catapulted into a troll's mouth is better. But I don't know. Probably
that was pretty funny.
But yeah,
definitely extreme.
Let's talk about again. Sorry, why do you think Desolation is at fault? I mean, I think Matthew, you're about to answer that, and I interrupt you.
Wait, do I think Desolation is at fault?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This movie worse.
Yeah. Like you were saying in the previous one that. Yeah, I think that a lot of the reason that there's so much stuff that varies from the book in this episode or in this last movie is because they changed things. Even if they changed them to a small scale in the second movie, they had to like see them through, or else it would have been ridiculous that like things just like disappeared. Several characters just disappeared and like.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I'll give you that.
Made it way worse.
Several side stories just disappeared. So I mean, they didn't have a choice once they did the things that they did in the second one.
Yeah, but they chose to put him in the second one, so that's why that one's at fault.
Yeah. I'm not defending them. I'm just saying they had to do it for the third one for that reason. I think they didn't have a chance of not doing it.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about this all day, especially with Star Wars too, with like the sequels, with Episode 8 being such a bomb. Then Episode 9 kind of comes in. And I guess they have, different directors, but essentially kind of tries to exactly like retcon the entire thing, like or conceivably, I guess. Like, right, as you said, Matthew, they're not going to drop the entire, Tariel and Killy storyline, but they try to do that kind of in Episode 9 a little bit.
They died.
Wait, what?
Killy died. Oh,
we're talking about
Star Wars.
Yeah, but I'm saying they tried to do as much as they could to dump Episode 8, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think there are two people who liked Episode 9. The first, they thought that it was actually a good ending to the trilogy, and the second are those people who absolutely despised Episode 8 and liked every little bit of, stuff they threw at Rian Johnson. I think that it was... I mean, like, I didn't like the decisions he made, but I think you gotta stick with them and make them the best that you can. And I think I've said before, J.J. Abrams was perfect to direct Episode 7, but not so much to direct Episode 9. I think we'll talk about it later in Star Wars, too. Let's go back to the Hobbit.
They should have just let him direct all of them.
Right, exactly. Honestly. But, well, maybe not. We'll talk about it in Star Wars.
Let's just go on back to the movie.
Yeah. So
Star Wars
with
is
the
so
Hobbit.
much more interesting.
I
We'll
know,
talk
but we're
about
about to have
that,
like a whole
next
11-part, 12-part
episode.
series on it. Yeah,
In
next
like
episode.
a year.
Yeah, but it's true. Happier. So what I was saying is, I think that you cannot fully blame Desolation for, in my opinion, my distaste of Battle of Five Armies. Because I think Desolation, even at its worst, sometimes kind of connects to the story of the Hobbit more than the Battle of Five Armies does. And there are some good moments in Battle of Five Armies. Like, I like the moment with Thorin's like interrogating Bilbo, and he's like, "I have this acorn. I'm going to plant, in my house and be reminded of the journey." And that was a good moment. And I want more of those moments in a grim and kick orc stuff.
Yeah.
The
Of
movie.
course, kick orc. Of course, even that one moment with the acorn, though, like you're saying, I also liked that. But they had to make it, super suspenseful and extreme because
Right.
it was like Thorin sees him across the room, dramatically walks over. Bilbo,
Right.
what are you holding in your hand?
Oh, yeah,
what are
then
you
he- like-
holding?
yeah,
and he's
then
like,
later
oh,
Yeah.
it's an acorn.
Yeah. Then like later on, you see Thorin in slow motion, like not a single coin. You see him spit.
And he's like talking like a snake. He's like a single coin. I'm like, dude, chill out a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Except
But
Thorn was in slow-mo, but no one else was.
yeah, it's true. And I think
It's
that
kinda
this scene
weird.
also had like the less visual, most. They did not have a good visual style for this movie. They didn't have a lot of rolling hills and green in this movie. It's really all
No.
CGI
Because, yeah.
and weird lighting. Right, until you get back to
Yeah,
the Shire.
and like one-on-one fight scenes kind of with a lot
Right.
of choreography that wasn't it wasn't super impressive.
Right, but
Some of it was cool, but
some of it was cool. But I think our reason I like Desolation and Past the Mountains, I'm sorry, what's it called?
Five
Unexpected
Armies?
Journey, is because they have more of what I thought Middle Earth would look like. They have more great shots of New Zealand and stuff like that,
yeah.
instead of Battle of Five Armies, which is
True.
mostly shot in front of green screens the entire time, unless you're in Dale.
I mean, yeah, but most of it was in a battle scene with a lot of orcs.
yeah, it's true, but I mean,
Yeah, which is why they were using CGI the whole time.
all right. So the reason I'm not blaming Desolation is because I think that every movie can make its own decisions to make that movie better. And I think yes, they had to keep up some of the storylines with Battle of Five Armies, and I think that scene with Tauriel at the end is absolutely terrible. But I think they could have made this movie better. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know what they could have done, but just make it more like The Hobbit, make it more visually appealing instead of just essentially a 2.5-hour movie with people fighting orcs and stuff like
And
that.
I know your big thing about the Hobbit movies that you appreciated most about the first one is how focused they were on the theme of the Hobbit, which is home.
Right.
And
Well, I'm not saying that was the theme of the book. I'm saying that's what they made these movies about.
yeah, I know.
Right.
I'm saying it definitely was not as clear in this one until,
Right.
of course, the very end when he goes home.
Well, there's also that scene. The one time they try and do it is with Bilbo when Thorin's dying, right? And so, here, I have the book in front of me for this very reason. So, the quote that Thorin says when he dies in the book is this. Quote, hang on. Oh my gosh, where is it? If more of us valued food and cheer and song above hoarded gold, it would be a merrier world. But sad or merry, I must leave it now. Farewell. And
It's a decent quote, actually.
it's a good line, right? And then in the movie, Peter Jackson says or writes, kind of it's
the more simple version.
If more of us valued home above hoarded gold, this world would be a merrier place. But he didn't say.
I
That's
like
what he
both,
says,
actually.
right?
I like
But he
both.
didn't say. I think I like the end of that quote. But sad or merry, I must leave it now. And I don't think he says that in the movies. But the thing is, with my problem with Battle of Five Armies is what you're saying. They don't mention a lot of the home stuff they've been trying to do throughout the movie. They had, I remember 2 moments: the acorn scene, and then this scene, right? And I'm excluding before they go home at the end of the movie to the Shire.
Wait, the
There's
acorn scene is in that's in Desolation.
No, it's in Battle of Five Armies.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes in this movie because it played into the theme of the movies, which is home, and I like that theme. I think that's a great theme for these movies. but you have to stick with that, and you can't just do it at the end with Thorn or have the acorn scene and hope to relieve the whole movie of the pressure that you put on it because of that. Yeah. So let's talk about what we actually liked about this movie a little bit. Alright? So, Isaiah, besides the amount of orc guts that were spilled in this movie, why did you like it?
Kick orc.
That should be our
on the
t-shirt.
description.
Yeah. When you're a Cooper, kick some orc.
Okay. Well, I guess some of the stuff, like, they didn't, like, I mean, I guess they did kind of stray far from the book, but, like, there was still stuff that they didn't, like, they showed Thorn's, what was it, like, dragon sickness or whatever it is, like, very well in this. Like, you could actually tell what it was and not just, like...
Yeah, in the book, it's kind of vague. It's like he's on a dragon sickness and then Thorn's suddenly under it. They do kind of have more of an arc for that. I will give you that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then how... Well, let's see. I guess... Yeah, actually, I don't really know, because most of the stuff was, like... They added a lot of stuff, and most of the stuff that I
yeah, Isaiah,
just them fighting.
Are you still willing to say it's your favorite?
Yes. Because it's the most entertaining.
Yeah. Alright, well, you have your own opinion. Matthew, what do you like about this movie?
Jar Jar Binks ain't in it.
That's true, we did just watch The Phantom Menace last Friday.
I like some of the fights. I like,
Exactly.
There's nothing really, like, about, like, Hobbity or, like, nerdy Hobbity that I liked about this movie specifically.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree,
And, like,
because
so,
there's not any stuff to nerd out about.
Exactly, and like I guess like Isaiah was saying, like you can like this movie either because you're like a Hobbit nerd or because you like entertainment, and I like entertainment. So I guess it was mildly entertaining. Definitely never watching it again.
Yeah, probably not either.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna be for a while for me either. I guess some of the stuff I liked about it, I did like Thorin's arc in this movie. I think in the book, one of the big things that's missing is the part before he comes out with the other dwarves. And I think it's a weird scene in the movie where he's like drowning in liquid gold or...
Yeah, that is pretty
weird. It's like bending like a trampoline, and it's weird. But I liked the scene where Thorin comes to his senses and realizes the gold is not worth this. It's friends, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
What made him realize that finally?
Right. What, you asking a question? I don't know. It's like...
Oh, it was the gold. It was, because he was like...
In the gold.
I think it was supposed to be like some kind of like, oh, he had a vision about getting drowned in gold. Now he doesn't like gold.
Well, it wasn't
it was pretty lame.
That it was because while that was happening, he was hearing all this stuff, like actually processing and understanding all the stuff that the other dwarfs were saying about how like the gold is consuming him. You're not normal, Thorn. This is not the Thorn I know. The normal one wouldn't do this. You
sit upon a throne with the crown upon your head, and yet you're lesser now than you've ever been.
Yeah.
One of those high-tech flashback scenes.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, flashback, I mean... it was a weird scene, but I like what it did. I like it kind of completed the arc where it's like, okay, now I'm going to go out and kick some orc. You know, stuff like that. Now I'm just going to see how much I can use that phrase.
See, something good came out of this episode.
That is true. Glad we redid it.
Yep.
Nope.
Honestly, I just wanted to edit it and see what happened if we just cut my part out of it. But no.
I feel like I kind of like took over hosting half the time though.
That's because I was trying to look up something for like the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, that is kind of true.
I have like 3 notes. Yeah, I have 3 notes on this.
Just looking at movie stats.
Yeah. Yep. But
I'm kidding.
So the ending. How do you guys think about the ending? Kind of rounding off the movies of Middle Earth and the ending to the Hobbit trilogy.
I liked it. It was probably one of the better parts. Because he went back home and people were trying to like steal his stuff. I love how like he'd been gone for like what was it, like 2 years or something, and just
13 months.
Yeah, it was
13 months. And just then, right when he happened to be walking in on that day, they happened to be doing the auction. I was like,
that's true.
Pretty convenient.
Yeah, I know. I mean, going back to it's a kid's book, but I think that's funny.
True.
It also starts the kind of subplot line with the Sackville Bagginses and the spoons, which is kind of funny.
And then, I was just gonna say like that. The end also. Well, I mean, I guess it does stray from the book in some parts where like he tells or Gandalf like says that he knows about the ring and all that. In the book, he doesn't. Bilbo tells him, doesn't Bilbo tell him? It says it in Lord of the Rings or something that Bilbo told him later on about it.
Yes,
so
in
like
Lord of the
that,
Rings. Yeah, he told him later on.
Yeah, but I like how they did it like this, so they don't have to do flashback in Lord of the Rings saying how he told him,
Yeah,
or anything like that.
No, because he lied in this one. He was like, "Oh, that thing got lost in the battle, so I don't have it
Yeah.
anymore."
Yes,
Yeah.
but it just shows that Gandalf knew he had a ring. Like,
Ah.
Yeah, Gandalf was still suspicious.
Oh.
You know, it'd be interesting to watch the Hobbit movies and then Lord of the Rings movies instead of the other way
No.
around, which is how I
We're
did
not
it.
watching the Hobbit.
But like, not I know, but like in theory, it would be to kind of see
mean-
what Easter eggs they lay, what plots,
Yeah.
lines are continued, and stuff like that. I think that this is a solid movie from the waterfall battle to the end of the movie. I think it's a solid movie
Mhm.
right there. That's the best
Okay.
part. The waterfall scene with Azog is pretty epic. Well, I guess
Azog the Defied.
yeah, exactly. Great scene. Thorin dying was pretty good. I mean, I think it was one of the better scenes. And then Gandalf just doing his pipe afterwards. Oh, that was a great.
Oh
touch.
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
But I think the worst part of this part of the movie was the scene with Thranduil, Tauriel, and Legolas.
Mm,
Didn't work.
not
This
really,
didn't work. Tauriel was like crying, and you're like, Evangeline Lilly, why are you like whining?
Yeah,
it's
And
not
kinda
working.
weird too. Like the Elf Lord brought his whole army there. The
Yeah,
Elf
I
Lord
meant,
brought
like-
his whole army there to fight dwarves and to get his stuff back. After he loses some elves, he's like, "There's too much bloodshed has been lost. Let's go." Like,
Yeah.
dude, like seriously?
Yeah, why'd you bring all those guys if you weren't
He's-
even gonna use
Thranduil's
them?
an interesting character. Didn't much care for him.
Yeah, neither
Maybe
did I.
just like the way he was played with like the long.
And he's
hair.
not as hot as Legolas.
Oh
No
no!
way.
Hey guys, have you seen Orlando Bloom in Lord of the Rings? Was like way younger than he
Mhm.
does here, which like
Wait,
makes
the
sense.
Hobbits
but,
were
like,
made
way-
after?
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
Oh my gosh!
hold on, let me see
Yeah,
how many
like
years.
way after. It was about a little over 10 years.
Well, let's see.
What? I did not know that.
All right.
Trying to copy Star Wars or something? Anyways, not much else to be said here, boys.
Yeah.
Let's get some
hang on.
shout-outs done.
Wait, real
Hold on a
quick.
second. Yeah. Oh, jeez, dude, it was 12 years later for Desolation and Smog.
Jeez.
Okay. Summary. Okay, Isaiah, we'll start with you. Summary of your thoughts on this movie and the Hobbit movies, and then Matthew. Same for you. Same for me. Donor shoutouts. We're out of here.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I already said it throughout this whole podcast, but I thought it was entertaining. If you like action stuff, you'll at least like this movie. Like we also said in the podcast, if you've never read the Hobbit book and you just watch the movies, you'll like them. It's entertaining. It's good. It's a good storyline. But
Right, they're appealing to a larger audience.
yes, but since I've read the Hobbit book, the whole Hobbit series is kind of like because they change a lot of stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
yay.
All right, Matthew.
I will summarize it in one word. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's what you say when you ain't know what to say.
That's what she said.
Okay, Matthew. Like, come on.
No,
Seriously.
really? I feel like why do we do like two summaries every time we do like the informal
'Cause-
one and the official one?
The
Because-
official one.
Can you just like cut my last summary from the last one? That was hard enough.
Nope, do it again.
Okay, fine. So, I'm never watching these again. And
Okay, you can stop
They're-
there. That's good enough.
thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so my summary of this movie, worst of the Hobbit movies, mainly because it's not just they stray from the book. I'm okay if you stray from the book if you have a reason for it and you make the movie better. The movie's not better from it. It strays from the heart of the story. It's not a good story. There are some good moments, like the acorn scene we talked about. I'd like to see more of that in this movie. Just you can tie it back into the theme of home that you wanted to push through. Summary of the Hobbit movies: they're somewhat entertaining trash, mostly. And like I said, these books sorry, I keep saying books. Oh my gosh, these movies they're about home, and it's a good theme, and it's carried out very well in the first movie. Less so in the second, and pretty much not at all in the third movie. So if you're gonna have a good theme like that, finish it out all the way through.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wait, Cooper, really fast. You said that this is your least favorite movie.
Yes.
I
The Hobbit.
actually would have thought that you would have said the second one's your least favorite because that's when they introduced the
Well,
whole like dwarf elvish love story thingamabob.
Right, I think I actually enjoyed it on an entertainment level better than Battle of Five Armies for some reason. I don't know why. And also, I do think it is closer to the heart of the Hobbit story than the Battle of Five Armies. So I know you're right. I don't like all the stuff they added in there, and I think it's a garbage movie, but it's slightly better garbage than Battle of Five Armies. All right. Okay.
Donor
How many?
shoutouts.
Actually, hang on, real fast. One more thing. How many eagles out of 13 do you guys give the Hobbit movies?
Wait, why 13?
Trilogy. Because there's 13
Because why
dwarves
not?
and there's eagles.
It's not an.
Yeah, but it's a
thing
company
to
of
argue
14, though.
about. Hey, chill.
Okay, fine. 14 eagles.
I'll give
I'm
it a
doing
7.
13.
7 out of 14. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 4.
Ooh.
I'm in a bad mood.
I gotta go with the 3 then. If I was being honest, I'd give them an 8, but since Matthew is really low, I have to go with the 3. So. Okay, donor shoutouts. We have 3. I say the donor. You guys say which Hobbit movie they go with because we have 3. So Isaiah, you can do your parents, Mr. Mike, Miss Laura.
I'll give them the first one because it's the best.
Well,
like
you can
it
have your
sticks
own opinion. That's my
It sticks
opinion.
closely to the book and all that. That's what I mean by best. Like the closest to it.
Okay. We ain't got to do reasons.
All right, Matthew, your brother Nolan the Pony Killingsworth.
Oh no.
Hey, Nolan the Pony Killingsworth. I gotta give him the Battle of Five Armies because that man kicks orc.
That's what he does. From a very young age, he kicked orc, and he will continue to kick orc. All right, and then last
keep on
but
kicking
not
orc.
least, Isaiah, Mr. Mark Killingsworth, Isaiah's dad. Awkward. Matthew's dad.
This is terrible.
I'm sorry. This is it's 7:00 right now. All right, it's too late.
I'll also give him the Battle of the Five Armies.
What? No, you can't do that. It has to be Desolation.
Okay, then Desolation of Smog.
That's right.
Yay.
Why do you
All
make
right,
this
guys.
so hard?
Do you want a donor shout out? Go to patreon.com/thescreening. Donate $5 or more. We'll give you a donor shout out. If you can't do that, leave a rating or a review. And what have we learned, children, when if nothing else?
No, we're not doing
Kick
that.
orc.
Kick orc. Yeah, kick orc. So look, listeners, we realize all of our podcasts so far have been basically talking about the books more than the movies, and the Hobbit episodes haven't been great. But Star Wars is coming, all right?
That's right.
There is light at the end of this tunnel.
I can see the 2 suns rising. Star Wars.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
there's no books to talk about, so it'll be all about the movies.
That's right. It's all about the movies.
All about the plot, the characters, the development, George
How they
Lucas.
messed up the final movies.
And the prequels are terrible. All right.
Hey,
That's true.
coming soon.
Coming soon to podcasts
The
near
Screening.
you.
Yep.
Until next time.
This has been The Screening.
Whew. Glad we're done with those Hobbit movies. Who wanted to start with those anyway?
You did.
Oh yeah, that's right.